Hi, my name is Ross Gustafson, and this is Volta Games. Today, I'm going to teach you how to play Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars is a great game by Stronghold Games and plays 2 to 5 players. Each player is a CEO of a large company working with the world government to help make Mars a breathable, livable planet for humans to live on in the 25th century. You and other CEOs are all working together for this common goal of making Mars a place that can live with enough oxygen and temperature suitable for humans, and that there's enough moisture in the planet. However, just because you're working together for this ultimate goal does not mean that you aren't competitive as CEOs. As this game, the person who terraforms Mars the best, or the company that terraforms Mars the best, is the winner. Terraforming Mars is an engine building game, which is a game where you're trying to get your economic engine up and running. Trying to put the pieces together to get your income and your resources of different kinds to effectively terraform Mars the best in different ways. There's no single path that is dominant for victory, but there are multiple paths that are all equally valid and can be equally stopped by other players. But really, it's whoever has the best economic engine is the person who's going to win. The winner is, of course, determined by victory points. This is a victory point game. And the fun is really in building up your engine and getting to it and seeing it kick off at the right time. Now, you may have noticed when you clicked onto this video that it said setup video. And that means that we're not just going to put everything and all the rules into one video. We're actually broken up into 5 videos. The first one being the setup video, then game structure, then card play, then other actions, and then game variants. You only need to really watch the first 4 videos, everything up to game variants. You don't need to necessarily watch the game variants video, but I would suggest for your first time playing. But I would suggest watching it in your second game, before your second game, or before your first game if you are a very advanced player or players who are used to engine building economic games and really just want to jump right in with both feet into the water. But don't worry, I'm going to get you through the rules even if you haven't played a lot of these type of games before. I want you to understand the rules in quick bite-sized amounts so that you can take breaks and so forth. You can watch it all the way through, whatever your choice is. Alright, let's get going.
First, place the board in the middle of the table. Make sure your table is big enough for the board, common area, and room for each player's area, which should be about 3 times the size of the player mat to be comfortable. Take out the 3 large white cubes and place 1 cube on the 1 spot of the outer point track, which is known as the Terraform rating track. This is important to know this term as it is commonly used in the game. Place 1 of the white cubes at the 0 space of the oxygen track, which is above the map of Mars. Place the final white cube on the negative 30 degrees mark of the temperature track, which is the mercury thermometer shaped track on the right hand side of the board. Take out the 9 ocean tiles and stack them in the ocean tile spaces on the top right hand side of the board between the oxygen and temperature tracks. Take the city greenery 2-sided tiles and place them in a place where all players can reach them. You can split the pile up to be placed on the 2 sides of the board if you wish to make it easier for all players to get their own tiles. I personally use a couple of dollar store plastic containers to hold my board game components, including these tiles. Take the remaining unique tiles and place them near the board in the common area, flipped on their large symbol side, so that everyone can see which tile is which. Since these are unique, I suggest not to stack these vertically. Take the bronze, silver, and gold cubes and place them in their own piles in the common area. Again, if you wish, feel free to split each colored pile into 2 piles for each side of the board so that everyone can get these cubes. These cubes are important as they are used for money, resources, neutral indicators for rewards, and tokens for certain cards. Separate the cards into different piles of cards based on the back. There should be 3 different sets of cards, 4 if you include the player aid cards. The most common card type are the action cards, and are used for your hand of cards and to build up your economic engine of your corporation. Take out any action cards with the corporate era symbol, which is a red circle with a white triangle inside of it, and place those cards back into the game box. Those are used in a game variant explained in the game variants video. Shuffle the remaining cards and place them in the common area. We'll get back to the other two types of cards in a moment. You now have finished setting up the common area of the game. The rest of the setup is for the player setup. Each player is given a player mat. Place it face up in front of each player. Each player chooses their favorite color and takes the corresponding cubes of that color and places them in their player area. These are their player markers, or player cubes. Return any unpicked colors to the game box. Each player takes a player marker and places it at the 20 location of the Terraform rating track on the central game board. Now, if this is your first game and you wish to play a simpler game to get your head wrapped around the game and the cards, then continue on. If you wish to play the more advanced game, go to the game variants video and find the advanced setup and the corporate era game variants and follow those rules for this next part. You could view both this rules and the advanced rules and decide what you wish to do. There were two kinds of cards that had similar backings that I mentioned. They're in fact identical, except one set of cards are in grayscale on the back and their fronts all say Beginner Corporation, and the other set of cards are in full color. The cards in full color are the Advanced Corporation cards, and you can return them to the box. The grayscale cards are the Beginner Corporation cards. Each player gets a Beginner Corporation card face up in their player area. They allow every player to start off with the same amount of money and 10 randomly dealt free cards. Now we need to explain the resource cubes. You have bronze, silver, and gold cubes in the common area. The bronze cubes represent one of something, money, tokens, or resources of any type. The silver cubes represent 5 of something, and the gold cubes represent 10 of something. Depending where the cubes are in your player mat, or what card those cubes are on, more on that in the player cards video, will determine what that something is. The second thing to explain is the player mats. Each player mat is divided into 6 sections: mega credits, steel, titanium, plants, power, heat. Each section is something you can produce to help you build things, power things, grow things, or heat things. More on that in the other videos. For now, know that for each area, there's a pool for you to place the resource cubes to represent how much of that resource you currently have, and you have tracks which state how many resources you produce at the end of a game round, also known as a generation. Place resource cubes of 42 value into your mega credit area of your player mat. That means everyone with Beginner Corporations start out with 42 mega credits. This is the primary currency of the game. Then each player places one of their player markers on the 0 square of each of their 6 resource tracks. This tells us that each player cannot produce any resources at the end of each generation for any resource type. Players produce mega credits slightly differently, even though they have similar production track, but more will be explained in the game structures video. Finally, all players get 10 randomly dealt game cards to keep for free. That is all that is needed to know for the beginner's game. The final part of the setup is to determine who to start the game. Pick a person randomly to start, as it is not very critical in this game, as they're not a huge advantage for going first. The first player gets the first player Mars token.
Well, there you have it, folks. That is the setup video for Terraforming Mars. You're ready to take your corporation and play a game. Almost. Except you actually have to learn how to play the game. But you get to build your own corporation on Mars if it was made of cardboard and plastic cubes. Or not. Anyway, if you like the video, like us below, subscribe if you like this channel, keep watching the videos for the other 3 mandatory videos and the 4th optional video if you like, to learn the rest of the rules. And if you can also follow us on our website at www.teslavolta.com, or you can follow us on the social networks, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at TeslaVoltaGames.com. I'm Ross Gustafson, and this is Volta Games, and we hope we sparked your interest in better games like Terraforming Mars.